We're losing! Teamwork, guys, more teamwork. They're burying us alive!
Well, shit.
Jeez, Louie.
Honey, don't you want to beat those bastards? In my book, we're gonna be winners.
Listen, I ain't got nothing left inside, huh? Cause you're training like a damn bum, you know that?
Screw them.
What are you doing? What are people doing?
Is this early access to?
Hey, let me tell you something, bro.
Get out there now and do the best you can.
All right, welcome to episode 15 of the Bad Fodder Figures podcast. This is Captain Mike M., and I'm joined by the usual lot. Gentlemen, we'll get to the pleasantries in just a moment, but I'm sure some of you remember your, let's say maybe first time penetrating the pink petals, or maybe first time you've sipped alcohol, or the first time you've experienced a death in your family, a car accident, unforgettable moments. But let me be the first to say happy February 1st. This is our first podcast of February 2018, and many more firsts are coming down the road, I'm sure. So welcome to episode 15, gentlemen.
I
don't know
be
what
gentle.
Yes, it
penetrating,
a little bit, I hear.
penetrating the pink petals.
Yeah,
That is
great.
nice. That is very elegant.
Say that, man. I want to hear you say those 3 words.
Penetrating the pink petals.
Now take a sip of alcohol or whatever you got and say it again 3 times.
All right, hold on. Penetrating the pink petals, penetrating the pink petals, penetrating the pink petals.
Hey, we know Matt's good with the P.
Oh, no.
Well, that sultry voice you hear is Eric. He's back from the waxing and stripping, or stripping and waxing. I'm not sure which comes first.
Stripping comes first, then the waxing.
Usually the strippers I know usually wax first, then they strip. What the fuck do I know? What they call that, a Brazilian or something like that? Just take it all off, front to back, back to front, and rip.
That's not cemetery.
Man.
Yeah. So what happened? Was it just a regular job, or did some like accident happen that you needed to come in?
No. Jeremy was right. He was like, hey, he helps his wife out. So every so often, the doctors want their floors stripped and waxed, and I was like, but they paying a little coin, So I said I got to do it. So
Is that the booby doctor?
Yep, it was. It was actually. It was the movie doctor, and they wanted their floors all shiny, and So I said, and let me tell you something, bro. I say that all the time.
It's not the intro. I'm having flashbacks.
That shit takes forever, man. Because the office is pretty big, but it just takes a long time, man. So I was over it after the first couple hours. Let me tell you.
Are they? Do they make the quantum leap there that the cleaners also strip and wax? Usually they have I would think you'd have cleaners, then you'd have like professional floor people. No, they just
we do all of that. So that's just one of the services we provide. So since we clean, they say, hey, can you guys strip and wax the floors? So did you have to go out and buy this device or whatever you do with the stripping and waxing? Yeah, I have all that stuff, man. Nice. I have carpet cleaners, strippers. I have all that type stuff. Now, did you have to go out and buy that yourself, or did you get that in the acquisition? I got it when I bought the company. All right. That's part of the damn money
deal that you struck up.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Speaking of money and deals, Jeremy, you can take a break very early here because we're going to discuss football.
I saw D. Rogers called, so I'd already planned for that one too. So
you got a twofa.
A twofa.
So, Eric, before we get into Super Bowl prediction, let's talk about the Redskins. They made a very lateral move, in my opinion.
I'm not happy with it, Mike.
Well, I think Kirk Cousins is overrated, and if he's going to be the friggin' highest paid quarterback in football, then what the fuck are we really talking about here? I know he's probably lucking out when his free agency comes up, but I mean, he is a second-tier quarterback in my opinion, just like Alex Smith. When it's what I like to call nut-cutting time, both of those guys spit up the bit very easily. But let's talk about the deal real quick. Kirk Cousins supposedly be a free agent. They could franchise him again, but they've made a deal for Alex Smith from the Chiefs. As a lifelong Redskins fan, what is your impression? You already said you're not happy, but can you, expound upon that a little?
Well, I look at it like this. People say Kirk Cousins is, like you said, the second rate, but he was in the top 10 quarterback rating.
32 teams.
So right. So why do you pay Alex Smith $3 million less than you would have paid Kirk Cousins? I don't get that.
To save money, and they traded a great defensive back too, right? So,
which is so dumb. What are they doing? And then Alex Smith to me is washed up.
I don't know. He had a very good year. At the end of the year, he was tired.
He had one good year, but he's really washed up. Yes, and look how old he is.
I think it's
if
a
you're
lot.
going to spend that,
I think it's
if
a
you're going to spend
move.
some money, it's lateral, of course. But if you're going to spend some money, spend it on the prospect, not a guy who's seeing his last good days. You might want to keep somebody that's going to stay for a while.
Well, let's talk about winners here. It's not a Redskins podcast. Let's.
Oh my God.
Let's move on to the Super Bowl, gentlemen. Let's quickly go around the table. I think we mentioned like 2 weeks ago we would give our predictions to the show before. So we are recording on Thursday. We usually record on Sunday. So this is the podcast before the Super Bowl. Matthew, what are your predictions? The winner and the score, please.
Eagles 24, Patriots 17.
Wow. All right.
The Steelers.
Eric?
I say Patriots 21-10.
21-10. You guys got both low-scoring affairs, huh?
Yeah.
And Jeremy, do I even ask you, or are you just going to say Pittsburgh beats Steelers?
No, I'm gonna go with what Madden predicted. The game, not the guy, because I think he's dead, right?
Yeah.
24-20 was what they said with the Patriots winning.
Okay, 24. Everybody. So 2 guys got the Patriots, 1 guy's got Philly. Matt, you're writing all this down for historical purposes, right?
Yeah, sure.
As nominated show secretary, I just nominated you, and it's passed into law. He's the secretary.
As secretary's duty, everybody remembers their pick and score, please.
Well, yeah, this is our sealed envelope.
You listen to sports radio and it will drive you nuts. Like if you feel confident about one team one day, you listen to all this radio, you listen to all these hype men come in, former players, and then you sway to one other side. And I think it's a fairly even matchup because the Phillies defense is really good. I don't want to be a homer. I think I want Patriots to win. I could easily see the Eagles winning as well, but if I got to give something here. I'm going to say Patriots 38, Philadelphia 27.
Wow.
So
all right.
So 3 Patriots, 1 Eagles. I like that, Matt. Going across.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It would really help my physical well-being if they just had a blowout. These games are very, very stressful. Matt, I know you can't remember what that was like. When was the last time the Bengals were in?
88.
Yeah, 88, I think.
Is that what the Icky Shuffle?
Yeah. Yeah. Both times they lost to the frickin' 49ers.
Last year was almost a blowout. The Falcons was blowing out the Patriots. And
did you hear what the Patriots did, Eric?
Happened. When?
But when they got their Super Bowl rings?
You know what?
Guess how many diamonds are in that Super Bowl ring?
I don't know.
283.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. That's the shit, huh?
Mm-hmm. So, what are you going to do? That's our sports football talk. More disappointments for Matt. Red Dead Redemption is delayed, gentlemen. I don't think that's a surprise at all. You're very upset, Matt?
I am. I am pretty mad about that. It's supposed to come out in June. I mean, first it was going to be spring, and it's delayed June. Now it's delayed till October 26th or something like that.
Yeah, it's one day after the greatest day of the year.
No, my birthday's October 1st.
Matt, the 15th. 15th.
That's the best month of the year.
October is the best month. Yeah, I am. This is kind of bumming out right here. It sucks. Now, granted, Rockstar does like to put out a good product, so there is that. But it just pisses me off when these companies go out and they say, "Okay, the game's coming out now." Oh, well, no, it's not coming out now. Wait, no, it's not coming out. And then people bitching and complaining because they, no one's announcing dates when games are coming out. Well, there's a reason why they don't, because they're not ready yet. And if you're not ready, don't even attempt to say something. And something to cause a game to be delayed that long is like, what the hell came up this late in the game? And all of a sudden, it's going to be October now before it comes out.
Well, I think they announced these dates ahead of time because, it's not just about releasing a game and then putting it in your hands. There's financial institutions and stock behind that. So I'm sure if they say there's a game coming out in June, that drives up their stock. If it gets delayed, it might fluctuate. So I'm sure there's financial reasons why they announce a window for those types of things. But, this is typical Rockstar. I mean, how long was GTA 5 delayed? I wouldn't even be surprised if this game gets pushed to 2019. There's nothing set in stone here with 2018. I don't think their MO is to delay games.
Yeah, as I word, they could even do what they did with GTA 5, where they just put out the single player in October and then wait a couple months to do the multiplayer or something like that. Which this date I'm actually okay with. I mean, obviously you want it sooner, but this should come out right before Extra Life, because that's normally the end of October, beginning of November. So there'll probably be lots of Extra Life streamers playing Cowboys.
So selfish. Now, Matt, who are you kidding now with the June release? You're upset. June, Matt. You don't know if you guys know this. Matt is quite the outdoorsman. He, wants the nice weather. He sits in the garage and has, meetings out there with the people in his neighborhood. He goes out and rides the bike,
rides motorcycle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think this fits in line with your lifestyle that it comes out sometime in late fall. Right, then you can get a nice cozy fire going, and you can play Red Dead. There'll be fires in that. You feel like you're simpatico with the game.
Simpatico.
It wouldn't be a podcast if I wasn't complaining about something or wasn't happy and bitchy and whiny about something. So
but keep that person up. June's not a popular month for gaming, though, is it?
Usually the holiday season, you see a lot of stuff, come out. It's the fall, so they can get stuff out in time for the holidays. But some places, some like Bethesda spreads it out all year round, right? So it's
it'd be nice to have it come out sooner, mainly because I want it out. I want to play this game. I'm excited for it. But. Yeah, so this summer, I guess this means another summer. Yeah, I'm like outside smoking cigars and riding motorcycles and hanging out with the neighbors and stuff instead of being inside playing games.
And wearing those toeless muck-mucks of yours,
Oh man, wait till you see what I'm buying this year. Wait till you see what I buy this year for shoes.
Oh my God.
Yep, with my toes, just think of what I'm going to get.
Oh please. Mm-hmm. Hopefully a barf bag for everybody that comes within 10 feet of you. All right, well, let's move on. Gentlemen, I want to take a quick poll. Have any of you guys ever lived on your own and have had roommates? I'm not talking about your wife. I'm talking about before you got married. Jeremy, have you ever lived on your own and had roommates?
I've lived on my own and had roommates, yes, both.
Yes, okay. Matt, now I know you've lived on your own, but you didn't have roommates, right?
Yeah, that is correct. I was by myself.
Right. Now, Eric, I know you've been in the service and things like that, so you had roommates forced upon you. But when you were not in the service, did you ever have a roommate?
Yes.
On your own? Yes?
Yeah.
All right. And you guys ever attacked your roommate through some sort of altercation, stabbed them, beaten them, slapped them, that you feel like you want to admit on the show right now?
Oh.
What's statute of limitation? 7 years?
7 years.
I can't remember if I disclosed this on the 40 cast or Gamers in Beta, but when I lived with some of my bandmates, one of the guys, I don't know where he got this from, but he had a black dildo. right? One of the real like rubbery ones, and it was in the freezer.
What?
And if someone came over,
Wait. Yeah, no, wait. You can't just casually say black rubbery dildo in the freezer and not explain something.
it wasn't mine.
Wake up in the middle of the night, think it was a fucking fudge sickle and start trying to lick it or something.
Hey, listen, it wasn't mine. I'm just telling you, it was in the damn freezer, and it was a weapon. Someone got out of line in the house, whether it was a person living there or someone, a guest. They got a fucking frozen rubber dildo to the face.
Mushroom stamps. Huh? They just beat them and got mushroom stamps all over the place.
I mean, how humiliating is it to get beaten with a dildo? Like, But anyways, that's not what I'm trying to get at here with this story. Okay, I'm going to bring this shit back full circle. This is in Alaska. This is not a terrible topic. I'm not going to steal Matt's thunder, but a 22-year-old Jeremy Tazarick was arrested after a fight, which the Anchorage Daily News reports he did not begin, but it escalated from some pushing, shoving into punches, and an attack with a kitchen knife. However, the melee also included a replica Legend of Zelda Master Sword. The sword was not sharp on the sides, but the tip was sharp. So he just gave him the tip, right? The document says the edges of the sword were not sharp, but the tip was sharp. There was a bent sword on the floor next to the door, and no, that's not the black dildo. And, as well as hitting the man with the sword, he's also accused of stabbing his roommate with the kitchen knife. He was arrested at the scene and charged with 4th-degree assault of recklessness and endangerment. So, something that me and him have in common. We've slapped around roommates, me with the dildo, him with the Zelda Master Sword. I'll let you guys judge. What is more humiliating.
Well, I like to think that escalated by first chopping down all the hedges and then like throwing all the clay pots around, like just kind of looking for rupees and shit. And then,
yep, not so much. All right, Jeremy, let's get to the heart of the matter here. Let's talk about Payday VR, please.
Wow, we're just skipping right up ahead to that.
No, this ties into things very nicely, very succinctly.
All right.
So let's bring me to the other day, please.
Okay, so this is Thursday. That was, Tuesday, I believe. We mentioned on last episode, I talked about Payday 2 coming into the VR realm or adding that support with their beta, and was curious if normies or people not in VR could play along. And so Mike said that, hey, let's give that a shot. So Tuesday night, after he and Matt were done playing some COD WWII, we fired that up, and sure enough, we were connected. Got in there and we're shooting a whole mess of cops. Good Lord, how many do you think we took out?
At least had to be over 500.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. Now, part of that was my fault because we started off a mission where we're supposed to kind of just case the joint and kind of see what's what and rob this jewelry store. And I'm still getting used to VR controls. So just as soon as the mission starts and I'm out in the middle of the street, I look down, I pull out my pistol and fire off a round. And, of course, everyone just, scatters. And I'm like, well, shit. So we go in there and... Exactly. So I mean, it was. I don't know, Mike. What was your take on the game? Because I think you're like me, and you've had it for a while and never really got into it or never really played it.
So the 2 times I've played Payday 2, I've done the same mission, and both have never gotten out of the jewelry store successfully. But let me get to what I wanted to get to here, Jeremy.
All right.
I was playing in about, I don't know, how long do we play for? Maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes?
Not even. Yeah. Not even.
About 15 minutes, I sensed something was going awry. I started sweating, started feeling real sick. And I told Jeremy, I made up an excuse to Jeremy, I'm coming clean now because I was on stream and, I had to give a good, image here. But I had to bail from that game very, very quickly. And then my bathroom paid the price. Just vomit everywhere. It was a mess. And so I don't know if because we were on the VR build of this, if that was the cause or what. But this is a couple times this has happened now lately with playing games, and I'm trying to figure out, has gaming just passed me by? Is my body so ravaged that I can no longer play games? Like sometimes I feel like my eyes can't keep up with the action on the screen, and I'm wondering if that's what's causing the nausea. Is it unoptimized games like PUBG? I don't know what it is, but this game, certainly, I could sense it, just a few minutes in. I try to hang in there, make nice on the stream like I was, doing something, but the game fucked me over. And it's still Wednesday Wednesday was a horror show. I worked, but I was still feeling the effects of it.
Wow.
So were you feeling okay during were you feeling okay before when you were playing with Matt?
Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty and Fortnite don't give me any issues. So I don't know what it is, but this.
So obviously it's Jeremy, I think.
Have you ever heard, Mike? I know in VR, Jeremy, you could probably chime in on this. If you don't play at least 60 frames per second, you get sick.
Well, have you ever heard that? I'm on like the ultra settings, like whatever it is,
Yeah, and this is a 2013 game. There's no way he was getting less than 60 and on his new computer. There's no way he was getting less.
Well, his eyeballs might need something higher than 60.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the VR build that something was in there. So I quickly, the next day I'm like, I'm never playing that shit in VR again. I quickly opted out of the VR beta. And I did. Well, it was Wednesday, and I was like, "There's no way I'm firing up this game just to be curious if it was the VR build or what." But go ahead.
It probably has something to do with the field of view or depth of view, because I've played that same version with just a controller just to kind of get used to how it works and stuff. And I mean, I didn't really notice anything different. Obviously, there's a world of difference in VR, and when I'm in VR and games like that. I don't know if you noticed, but when I turned in that, I would only turn at 45-degree angles because I can move back and forth in VR just fine. But as soon as I start rotating right to left, like with a joystick, I get this like really like, oh man, I can't take this, like inner ear type of alert going off. So I think it really depends on the direction you're going and stuff like that. So I mean, definitely try it. If you get brave, try it again without the VR version. I don't think that version of it had any difference in quality for a 2D screen than what it did for anything else. Is PUBG any better on Xbox, or is that?
I haven't tried that, and I know the other night when we played PUBG on the PC, just very minor nausea, not anything that I felt like I needed to stop playing. I could just feel a little bit at times like, oh, that's messing me with, just a tad. But I could certainly play through it. But I know if Jay Maniac was here, he'd say, well, you got to get those ginger candies, those ginger pills. So I might have to go down that route. I might have to order some of those ginger things and pop them in and see if that does anything different. But I'm finding this more and more with games now, and it's becoming a little disconcerting. Am I going to have to hang it up here and live vicariously through people's Twitch streams?
I'll just get you set up with the Hearthstone account.
You also might want. To check your glasses prescription.
Oh yeah,
I can do that.
Yeah,
I actually got a text the other day saying I was due for an eye exam. So. So that was what happened, guys, and that was the story I didn't want to leak beforehand. Matt was all concerned.
Next time,
just
say that's what. Yeah, next time, just say that's what's going on, man. Because I was worried because you said something about your wife had to come in and get you, and you're like, oh man, I got to go. My wife needs me, and then the next day you're like, I might be done with gaming. I'm like, oh man, did she like flip her shit or what happened? Like,
no, I didn't say done with gaming. I said done with that game. But yes, something's got to happen here because I can't keep getting sick with my hobby. That's just not a good fit. So it'll be a work in progress here to see how I balance that out, or I could just be playing COD and Fortnite for the rest of my life. Who knows?
Oh, that'd be exciting.
Now, Eric, I don't know if you listened to last week's show yet.
I did.
All right.
No.
So our buddy Vaughn has tossed us a very important question here. What we would select for our Mount Rushmore, our personal Mount Rushmore. So, of course, there's 4 people on that mountain. Bonus points if anybody can name the current 4 people. Anybody?
Washington, Lincoln,
Roosevelt,
and Jefferson.
Yep.
Very good. So since Matt, you got bonus points, that means you go first.
Yeah.
So this doesn't have to be serious, but it's just a personal thing, and maybe, if you give us the 4 people, you tell us why or what your inspiration was why. So go ahead, Matt.
Now I put a lot of thought into this, and it's part silly, part serious here.
Oh God, Hitler, Mussolini, and
Stalin. Yeah.
You forget Kim Jong-un. No, okay. So we'll start with Homer Simpson. Okay, perfect father figure right there. Homer Simpson. I figured he'd be a good one on there. Plus, he'd be easy to carve. Rosa Parks. Okay, there's a brave ass woman there. All right, for what she did.
Yes, sir.
Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
And Gandhi.
Wow. And notice there was no white people, 1 yellow, and 2 blacks. And
I want to know, Matt. What did Rosa Parks did? What she did?
What she did?
Yeah, you said for what she did. She should. Yeah, what did she do?
She refused to get out of her seat there on the bus.
Let's not go down that path. It's it already is Black History Month. We just say, all right.
What did I do wrong?
I don't know. I just want to move on. I don't want to go. They just say, all right, good. Okay. All right, smart ass Jeremy, go ahead.
Unlike Mac, mine are totally, completely serious all around, 100%. So, I didn't have a hard time with this. So that was a really good question, Vaughn. It made me use parts of my brain I haven't been worked in a long time. So, first of all, I'm going to start with Bill Gates because when I think about things that have impacted my life or things that have been a big part of my life, obviously gaming and stuff like that, but just computers in general have something that's always interested me and fascinated me. And obviously not every computer I've ever used has been a Windows, but I think it'd be hard to deny what Windows has done and Windows PCs in general have done as a platform. So, there's that whole big thing of him and Steve Jobs and, who did what and all that. So, I mean, I'm obviously none of us were there, so we're not. So I'm just going to say Bill Gates for that one. And then you could, if you want that to trickle down to Xbox or something, I guess, sure, go right ahead. Second one. Now, I'm about to blow Mike's mind with these next 2. Yeah, all right. So the first one.
Blow my mind.
The first one is MC Chris, who those of you who might follow me, I know Mike. He's not Mike's cup of tea, and actually he's not a lot of people's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. He's a nerd rapper. He's done some voice work on some Adult Swim stuff. He was MCP Pants, if you were an Aqua Teen Hunger Force fan back in the day. But part of why, aside from the fact that he's some white guy who sounds like he's 10 years old and he raps, and raps about like nerd stuff. But I got into him when I was younger, like in my mid-20s. And as I grew older and got married, and about the same time I got married, he finally settled down a bit, got married. And about the time I had kids, he had kids as well. So it's kind of an artist who I enjoyed his work, but then also kind of gone through a lot of the same stages in life at the same time as well. So I've been to, Mike, sit down if you're not already. I've been to like 7 of his shows. So I left the house, went out in public, waited in line for hours, and stood at the front of the stage surrounded by people, believe it or not, to see him several times. So he's just an artist I've always really enjoyed.
Wow, shit.
I know. Stay seated. Number 3 is a sports baller. I'm going to put Jerry Rice.
Oh, the guy you stick him. What a cheater.
Wow.
Oh, wow. He didn't play for
Exactly.
the Patriots, so he was a cheater.
You stick
No,
him.
but he sure beat those Bengals in '88, didn't he?
Too soon.
Yeah, the 49ers was a team that I decided to like when I was old enough to realize I didn't have to like the team my dad liked, also known as the Browns. And then of course the 80s were that was a big time for him. And I always admired his work ethic. You never saw him beating a woman or getting arrested for drunk driving, or there was never any real conspiracy with him. When he got in the end zone, he acted like he'd been there before, and he was a class act all around, I think. So then my number 4, which is the one I had a hard time coming up with.
Wait.
Okay.
Said Jerry Rice. I know this might be a little illegal, guys, but you put a little spray, a little stickum on them to make sure that texture is a little sticky. Okay, so that's the stickum gate.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Mm-hmm. Right. Deflate what? Mm-hmm. So my
wait. Then there was Slippy Gate. Are you familiar with Slippy Gate?
No.
Mike's been triggered.
Yeah, so the 49ers, Joe Montana in the 80s said his offensive linemen used to spray silicone on their shirts. And they kept on doing that until they were caught. Slippygate.
Never heard of it.
Go ahead.
Okay. My 4th one, I feel like I needed a woman up there. And there's only, other than my wife, there's only one woman whoever really just hit that little twinge on the inside.
Samantha
and every time
Fox.
I saw her, nope, you're never going to get it. Giada De Laurentiis, who is the daughter of Dino De Laurentiis, who was like a producer or movie. She's the chick on Food Network who makes all the Italian dishes. Yes, exactly. I could watch her make cold cereal and just eat. And every time she makes something, she puts it in her mouth and she's like, it just exploded in my mouth. It's so creamy and delicious. And it's like, oh, okay. So, she warms my pants, so she gets the 4th spot.
No, that's the good choice right there.
All right. Well, that's very impressive. An eclectic group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eric, are you prepared to give your 4 answers?
I am, sir.
All right.
I listened to the show and I was like, wow, that's some good questions. And mine's serious and not serious, both. Okay.
All right.
So I'm gonna have to bite what you said, Mike, because I'm gonna put Obama up there first. That's what I'm just gonna do that because that's my dude. Okay.
All right. So can you? I was going to give reasons why, but we might as well both give some info there. Can you tell us why?
One, because he's awesome, and 2, compared to what we have now, he's just fantastic. But I'm gonna save that for a minute. All right, but let me go to the next 2.
Okay.
Now the next one, you're probably like, what? Why would he do that? Okay. The second guy we'll put up there is Daddy Bush. And you're probably saying, why would you put Daddy Bush up there?
The first Bush.
Yeah, not the second Bush, the first Bush. Now, back in the day when I was a young guy, I used to work at the White House a lot, right? And believe it or not, I used to talk to him a lot. He used to go out of his way to just come and hang out.
Nice.
And he was really, really cool, man. He was a really cool guy.
Yeah, that's the opinion because obviously they stay in Maine in the summertime, so a lot of people around here, a lot of people on sports radio talk about the Bushes in a different light than their public persona.
Exactly.
And say they're just great people.
He was a great dude, and he was interested in
still alive.
What I did and talking to us about just shooting the shit. Really, it was cool. Now Obama, I've spoken to Obama just like when he was at the Pentagon, just, hey, how you doing? And he was cool like that. But Bush was really awesome, to tell you the truth.
Cool,
okay, so number 3, I'm gonna put up Martin Luther King because he was a badass, and I don't know how he could do what he did because I couldn't do what he did. There's no way. He was getting hit in the face and dogs attacked on him, and he just kept marching and singing "We Will Overcome." Nah, bro, not this guy. That would would not happen. I'm just gonna tell you right now, that would just not would happen. All right, and my last one. Now, this guy means a lot to me, and it all come together. You'll know why. Now, since I was a small kid, this guy meant a lot to me, and it's transformed into my grown adult years, as you can see. It's Mario, man.
Oh, yeah.
Black Mario.
I'll put Mario. Black Mario, white Mario, and kind of Mario. Any kind of Mario you want. I'll put him up on the bricks, man.
Awesome. That's a good group. I really had a tough time thinking of someone from gaming to put in mind. So sadly, even as important as gaming is in my life, I didn't select someone there because I didn't think of like a fictional character. So I'm not as smart as Eric, so I didn't think that. But
Matt had Homer Simpson. That's a fictional character.
Yep. Good job, Matt. So I went with politics, comedy, sports, and politics. Right. So we had Obama. I just think that his the way he held himself in one of what we consider the most important office in our country. You can disagree with his politics. You could disagree some of the things that happened under his administration, but I think he always represented us in the best light possible. And I think
very presidential.
And I think he also gave inspiration to African Americans that they're just not that they can, if they can want to be president, they want to be successful. That it's real possibilities are endless, just like it is for us white people. So
and that's a true statement. As an African American, I would agree with you on that, too, sir.
I think there was a lot of people that felt that office would never be open to African American, and hopefully someday, a woman will be in there as well.
Right.
So I thought, music's a huge thing in my life, and certainly I think the two cornerstones of music that I listen to is punk and metal, and so I thought about, people like Ozzy Osbourne and Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, but I just think it was appropriate to have, woman beaters and cheaters and, drug users up in my top 4. So I didn't select them. But, this guy, the one I did put up there, and, he's probably indulged a little bit, but he's really known as a person that works for the people, a working man, was very political, and that is Joe Strummer from The Clash. And Joe was hugely influential to punk, ska, and just, people like Bruce Springsteen and stuff like that. So if you know The Clash, they have a lot more music than Rock the Casbah. They put out many records before that, so go check them out. Now, sports, I was thinking Brady, Belichick, and, as it is, I am not a huge Brady guy. I'm happy. I'm happy he's our quarterback, and I wouldn't have anyone else out there. But I don't know how to put this eloquently because I don't want to piss people off that listen to us. But I think anybody who has a strong belief, whether it's religion, whatever he's into now with this trainer and this 24/7 lifestyle, whether it's people who are just, constantly into CrossFit. I just feel like sometimes those people have just been brainwashed a little bit. And it's hard to explain, but when you look at Brady and you hear him, he's a bit robotic and it looks like I don't know, he's changed over the years. And I'm not a huge Brady guy. All right, I like him and things like that, but he just seems to me to be a little touched, a little out there. But Belichick, I just think he's been to so many Super Bowls with the Giants and the Patriots. His talent, he's going to go down as the greatest coach of all time. So I'm going to put Belichick up there. And then as far as comedy, I think I just love Don Rickles, so I think we all need a good laugh at the end of the day, and I think Rickles, no one was untouchable when he was behind the mic, and he did it with all love because he was Mr. Warmth. So I think Don Rickles would be my 4th.
Cool.
There we have it. And I think
now you have to pick one of each of ours. That was the second part of Vaughn's thing. Is you. Remember, you have to pick.
Yes. So you want that right now, or do you need that next episode? You want to go right now?
Can you do it right now?
Well, I think Obama definitely. I think if you have two people saying one person, that's an automatic.
Jada.
I think I would definitely pick Bill Gates. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
I think we're all using Windows computers right now. We all have Xboxes. I think that's on a daily usage. He affects our lives. So Obama, Bill Gates, we're all here because of gaming. So I got to go with Mario. I think that's a no-brainer. And then remind me the other ones. We had Gandhi, we had Rosa Parks, and we had Homer Simpson.
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King. Well, Jeremy, you had MC Chris, Bill Gates. Who were the other two?
Jerry Rice and Giada.
Jerry Rice. And who was the last one?
Giada. The Food Network chick.
I picked Bill Gates. I picked Bill Gates already. You should be happy.
I was.
So we're just missing one more, right? Hey, fuck it. It's Super Bowl. Bill Belichick. So we have Bill. We have Obama, Bill Gates, Belichick, and Mario.
There you go.
There's all four. Sorry, Matt. Matt? You had Homer Simpson,
Rosa Parks,
Gandhi,
Jimi Hendrix,
Gandhi. I think Jimi Hendrix is kind of really overrated. I really do.
I don't.
We can have a discussion. We can have a discussion on that later.
What if Matt swapped out Homer for Al Bundy? Because then you kind of get sports and the father figure in one.
See, no. But we desperately got to move on here. We got some voicemails, so let's kick that off.
Operator, may I help you? Operator?
Are you the operator?
I'm long distance, sir. Overseas, may I help you? Directory assistance, may I help you, please?
Hello. Hello again. Hello. Hello again.
All right. We have a few voicemails here, and actually someone is trying to leave one now, and I put the kibosh on that because they already left a voicemail and they wanted to leave another one. Mafia Thug says, yes, but I had some other stuff. That call was basically pulling my foot out of my mouth for Matt. So let's go to Mafia Thug's voicemail first.
Gentlemen, what is going on? It is Mafia Thug. Thank you for calling me out, Jeremy. As far as not calling in and listening.
Oh, wait a second.
I was going to do the...
We already listened to that one before, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. That was
last week.
He did call back with a different one.
Interesting. Well, Mafia Thug, I'm going to have to make that up for you. I pulled the wrong one. I apologize. That's what happens when you do a podcast on your workday. So we'll get back to you in just a minute. So let's hear from Vaughn.
What's up, fellas? It's Vaughn. I'm going to make it real light this week since you guys are doing the Mount Rushmore question from last week. I appreciate you guys answering that. Oh, by the way, don't forget, Mount Rushmore question, it could be anything. It could be comic characters, video games, movies, personal. Doesn't have to be anything serious. All right, shout out, first of all, to Mafia Thug. Appreciate the shout out. Dave RoboPig, appreciate the documentary suggestions. I actually have King of Kong. I love watching that. Pull it out and watch it about once a year. Always get kind of nostalgic about the old arcade days and pull it out and watch that. Pretty interesting. There was a documentary about the documentary, talking with the producers. I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but it goes into how they kind of played up the good guy, bad guy thing. And, the guys in that really aren't, they were characters. They kind of blew it out of proportion a little bit. So, the good guy wasn't such a candy ass and the bad guy wasn't such a dick, so to speak. All right. So the question I have for you, speaking about old arcade days, Dave and Buster's. We have a Dave and Buster's. So I'm just going to ask this one in your opinion. Do you really consider Dave and Buster's to be a legit arcade like the old days? Some people don't consider it to be an arcade because it's more like a bar or a restaurant. Tell me what you think. This Vaughn, I'm out. Peace. Talk to you next week. Keep up the great work.
All right, Vaughn, very good. Does anybody have a strong opinion on Dave and Buster's one way or the other?
I think it's an arcade.
I think it depends on the one because we've had a couple here in town and they're vastly different. I think when they first came out, I felt like they were more like arcades, but the last time I went to one, which is like a year ago, it was a lot of like there was way fewer games, and they were way more gimmicky type stuff, and a lot less actual arcade games. So I think it used to be yes, but more and more as they go on, and the things that are in there are less arcade games than no.
Yeah, I mean, my deal with Dave and Buster's is the food there is terrible, right? So that's one thing. It's overpriced and terrible food. But that aside, it's got some arcade feel to it. The kids like going there, and I guess that's the important thing. But would I ever go there on my own? No. It's got to be a family thing. So if the kids like it, we go. Is it an old arcade? No, because the old arcades, they were grimy, they were dirty. They were at least in my neck of the woods, they were tucked away in some seedy areas and stuff like that. So these are all in the suburbs. At least around me, Dave and Buster's are all in the suburbs, and plenty of parking, not hard to get to. So, anybody else have anything on Dave and Buster's? No?
I like the fact that they got the tabletop shuffleboard there. I love playing that. That's a lot of fun. That's one thing I like about it, though. Everything else about the place is overpriced and nasty.
And the prizes there aren't that great, right?
No.
All right, let's see who we got next year on the phone line.
Hey, what's up, dudes? It's Chalfie. So, question for you guys. At what point in time, and I'm going to actually try to get this question in one voicemail and not do it over 4 or 5, but we'll see.
Piss me off.
At what point in your life did you have the realization, like, damn, I'm getting old? Or like when you made that statement, like, ooh, I think I'm an old man now. Just curious. For me, it was when my doctor said, you need to start taking this little white cholesterol pill. And I said, fuck, I'm an old man. Anyways, so shout out to you guys. Thanks for doing an awesome show every week. And in the words of the great devious Mr. Matz, well, shit.
Anybody want to? Well, first we got to give them a look.
Shit.
There we go.
Does anybody want to contribute to when they felt like an old man over the hill, washed up?
Probably when my son got high school. That's a pretty eye-opening experience there. Yeah, that was last year.
So he's a sophomore?
He's a sophomore now. Yeah. Even worse.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I don't feel old at all, even though I am. I'm 48, but I don't feel old. Whatever.
That's good.
I guess when my shit stops working, I'll feel old. I don't know.
That's when it's time for me to go.
when the thick and brown is no longer thick, it's a wilted flower.
Yeah.
You just put it in the freezer, right?
Yeah, smack those people. They used to say that they used to give Hef like a whole bunch of blue pills, and his shit would get like rock hard and stiff, and he would just lay on the bed, and for hours people would just mount him, and he was just sitting there on his back. So,
hey, do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do, baby.
Nice.
Jeremy, do you feel old, or are you still young at heart like our cop over here?
I don't feel old, and like when I think about where my father was at this, because I just turned 40 last October, and 40 to me, 40 in my head, 40 is old, but I don't feel like I'm 40. And then I think about the stage of my life my dad was when he was 40, and I think, man, he was old then. Like looking back on it, but I don't feel that. But the time that it really hit me, like, damn, I am getting old. Is I looked down and I had a big old gray chest hair. And that was like, oh, that's not supposed to be there like that. But sure enough, it was.
What a shit. What are you going to do?
Right.
I certainly feel old because I've let myself go a little bit. I think, working from home, I know you guys probably at your own work don't like walk like around the office and get a lot of steps in, but I really don't get much exercise because I'm just dropping my son off at daycare. I get back in the car, I come home, and I sit in this chair for 8 hours, right? So that has really, I'd say put a damper in my physique, and that's made me feel old. But I think certainly my uncle passing last year is, you sort of come to grips with your own mortality, and you realize he was only, I don't know, I'm trying to remember how old he was. I think it was 53, 55, so about 15 years older than me. So I think that, it gives you a moment of pause and realizes you're on the other side of life right now at 40, and got to do something to stop Father Time. but I don't know how. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Nice.
There you go.
So let's. I just downloaded 2 voicemails. Okay, I don't know who these people are. I put question marks next to them. So we'll see what comes in here. I can't make any promises if this is going to sound good, but let's go for it.
Hey, Captain Mike. I know you're out in the Boston area. This is Timo.
Timo.
Timo, TMO8387 from Open Forum Radio.
Hey, Timo.
Did that Alex Rimmer guy get fired, man? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I didn't see the documentary and all that stuff, but when you attack a little girl, man, that enough said, man. So they said they suspended him, but they should have just gotten rid of the guy. And secondly, my Mount Rushmore is going to come from all different areas. First off, in sports, you know. Growing up being a fan of basketball, can't deny what Michael Jordan did to the popularity of the game and with his play and
that's a good
also
one.
with his shoes and all that stuff, the Jordan brand and all that stuff. And then I got to give it to Oprah because of daytime TV, what she came from what she is now, you know, not only money-wise but culture-wise as well. I mean, and plus, you know, the strength of that Golden Globes speech. And then third, Star Wars. Enough said. George Lucas has to be up there because of Star Wars. And fourth has to be my mama, man, my mother. You know, the last couple of years, you know, dealing with the health issues and all that, she was my number one supporter, man. So I got to put her on my Mount Rushmore. But love the show, and like I said, man, hopefully that guy got rid of, man. Don't matter what the little girl did, you can't take a little girl, man. So, yeah. So, y'all have a good day, man. Keep up the good work on the show. Later.
All right, Timo, thanks for checking in, buddy. So let me give some context to what he's talking about. So there is a sports talk radio guy named Alex Reamer, and he was on. He's not like a primetime guy. He's a fill-in. I think he's does a lot of like late night or evening type radio, and he was doing a show. And Tom Brady's doing these little mini documentaries. I think there's like maybe 5 or 6 of these that are coming out this week. It's called, I think, Tom vs. Time or something along those lines. And in one of the episodes, Tom's at home, and I think maybe his daughter's climbing over him, or she's in the video. All right, I haven't seen these things. Again, I'm not a huge Brady guy, and I think the talk show radio host called her an annoying pissant. So he's been suspended indefinitely. He's not been fired. Maybe that's going to come down the line, but I would suspect that he would probably, if he's not going to be fired, he'll be back on the air a couple months from now when football's long and forgotten about. Brady's come out and said that he doesn't wish the man to be fired, that, he would hate for someone to have to change their career just on a few words that are regrettable, and everybody sort of misspeaks every now and then. He shouldn't be fired, but he was certainly upset about the comments that were made. And I think if you listen to sports radio, a lot of these guys who never played sports, they try to be confrontational, give what they call hot takes, and sometimes it can catch up with you. So I think that's what happened there. But he gave some very good ones. I mean, I think anytime you can put your mother up there. We all know how important our mothers are, so that's a good one. And certainly Jordan. I'm not a huge basketball guy. Certainly like it and am knowledgeable about it. But I think Jordan is undeniable as a great selection. All right, let's go to one of these other mystery callers.
Gentlemen, Mafia Thug. First and foremost, Matt, I'm a piece of shit, and I apologize. I love you too, brother. By the way, nice bike, and you look like Wolverine. So much love for you, Mr. Matt. Much love.
I'll take it.
Jeremy, yes, that was the game. Red French, what are you on PlayStation? Hello? And Vaughn, you're the man. I love your questions. Your questions are off the hook. I love them. Okay. Alrighty, guys. I may call back another time. I may not. I don't know. I haven't even finished the whole episode yet, so we'll find out. Alrighty, gentlemen. Thank you. Shout out, everybody. Fred French is now on Discord, everybody. That is a PSA. A that should go nationwide if it's not already. I don't know. I don't do the Twitter pating thing. So, alrighty, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
I can't remember. Why is he apologizing to you?
Because he didn't mention him.
Oh, you didn't mention him. No. See,
right.
I totally forgot about that. So, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got 2 left. Jeremy, if you need to take a break, you can go ahead.
Hey, guys. It's Steve Rogers here. Dylan, what's up, Matt? Eric, Ruiner, Captain Mike M. And you're probably not a lot of guys are probably not going to like this, but once again, me and Mike's guys are back in it again, going for the Brady 6. It should be a fantastic matchup. I'm not going to talk too much about it because everybody already knows by now, 3 days away. You got Nick Foles coming in for Carson Wentz when he got hurt. You got Brady going for 6, total of 8 or whatever so far in the career or history. So you got that. You got Blunt, formerly the Patriots, Steelers, and Buccaneers, and you got Jay Ajayi, and you got Chris Long on that side. You got Deion Lewis, James White, and Rex Burkhead, and Brandon Cooks and Amendola and Hogan on this side, and you got Brady, Foles, Super Bowl 52, Minneapolis, 6:30 Sunday night. So my Jesus, I'm not even fucking drinking, but my pick is, of course, my guy, the Patriots, and it's going to win by a touchdown, 37-30. So, yeah, 37-30. And we're going to ride off into the sunset until next season, then whatever else happens then. Anyway, okay. A brief couple of Mount Rushmore that I have. I have TV shows and sports/movies, so I'm going to do 3 quick ones. So in the sports ones, I have Tom Brady, I have Kobe Bryant, I have Muhammad Ali, I have...
What happened?
I guess the operator told me to shut up.
I guess I don't think he called back either. No.
Oh.
What are you gonna do?
Oh shit!
Christmas miracle.
Hold on, I wasn't ready for that. Don't say anything.
Oh shit!
All right, now I feel much better. D, I didn't see another voicemail that you called back or not. So
I guess
keeping us in suspense. Yeah.
All right, so we got 1 left here.
Okay.
Bad Fodder Figures.
What happened?
What is up, gentlemen? We are ever so closer to the super game Super Bowl. The excitement is in the air. Of course, both teams in it I hate, so it's a no-win situation. But just for Captain Mike, I will do this. Fly, Eagles, fly down the road to victory. Or however the hell that song goes. I don't know. Too many Eagles fans singing that song all the time. They're all morons. Anyway, gentlemen, calling in with a few Super Bowl questions. I realize that the show will be out after the Super Bowl, so to all the listeners, if you don't like this, well, you know what they say. You can only please some of the people some of the time, and you can't please anybody any of the time, so... If you don't like it, well, sorry. And if you do enjoy it, well, you're welcome. Anyway, question 1, gentlemen. Question 1. If you could pick any network to host the Super Bowl, what would your network pick be? Because I know people like to complain about these commentators on certain networks, so just wondering if you could pick any network, what would your network be for the Super Bowl to be carried on?
All right, so I'm going to pause in there because I'm old. We already talked about that. 40 years old, I'm over the hill, so I will forget as he goes along. Network. Anybody have a preference? Matt and Eric, who watch a lot of football?
Not really. I can watch the Super Bowl with no commentators. That's cool. I don't give a damn about that.
Anybody but Joe Buck.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not big on Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, so I'll agree with that. Continue on, Fred.
I'll go with you. Yeah.
Question 2, gentlemen. The halftime show, huh? Who are you paying the bucks to come out on the field in the halftime and entertain us at home and on the field? Because a lot of...
All right, so we know Jeremy's answer already, right? MC Chris?
MC Chris.
Oh, no.
MC Chris.
That's a little bit above his scope there, but
the cooking lady.
And we know Matt wants zombie Jimi Hendrix out there.
Zombie.
Or the other band. What was the other band? Backbone, Backfeet. What were they called?
Backbeat. Yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be that'd be a goddamn halftime show right there, folks.
So yeah, I already answered it.
Now.
Backbeat. Eric, how about you? Eric?
I don't care.
Eric B. and Rakim?
Hey, hell yeah, but it's gonna be Justin Timberlake, right?
Yes, it is. Is it going to be on Nipplegate again?
Yeah, let's get Janet Jackson back out there with him. See what happens.
It's gonna be Nutgate.
See what happens.
All right, let's see what else Fred has to say.
Sometimes those entertainers really leave a lot to be desired. And the final question, gentlemen. And of course, leave your favorite team out of it. Let's just pretend your team didn't have the season you wanted and they didn't make it to the big game. What two teams would you like to see make it to the big game, huh? Any love for those Brownie fans? Give Cleveland maybe a shot at a title here, huh? Any love maybe for the Vikings after they came so close but yet fell so far away? Just wondering, gentlemen, what two teams you would put in it. Of course, we're leaving out your favorite team because, yes, we're all tired of the Patriots being there, and we know they'll probably be there again next year, but let's just pretend they don't make it. Huh. All right, gentlemen, I hope everyone enjoyed your Super Bowl. Hope everyone had a great week. And as always, arrivederci.
Hey, Fred, this one's for you, buddy.
Is that Bon Jovi?
That's what they play when the Patriots score touchdowns in Foxborough.
No wonder their fans go rage.
All right, so let's go around the horn here real quick. He wants to know what would be our dream matchup minus our own teams. Matt, go ahead.
Browns. Yeah, I think the Browns would be a good one. They've been through a lot. I think they deserve a Super Bowl. Jeez Louise, as Eric would say.
Yeah, jeez Louise. That's a hard question, bro.
It is. Does the Green Bay count? Because they're my second favorite team besides the Bengals. So
he said Green Bay. Your favorite team.
Green Bay.
So Green Bay and Cleveland could happen, right? AFC, NFC?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Eric?
I wouldn't mind saying the Raiders and hell, I don't know, the Raiders and somebody like. Fuck, I don't know.
It's a short show, Eric. It's a short show. You don't care, Raiders and whoever.
Yeah, I don't care. It don't matter. I want to see the Raiders go back.
All right, Jeremy, do you have?
I would just say putting the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl was like asking a high school dropout to perform open heart surgery. But yeah, I don't know that. No, I haven't been in. Yeah, no, I mean. Let's do that. San Francisco and Cleveland, just call it the Toilet Bowl and see what happens. It'd be great.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to go with Oakland and Dallas.
I was going to say Dallas, but I have so much hate for Dallas. I don't even want to see them do anything. So right. I'll go with that, Oakland and Dallas.
Okay. All right. That's all the voicemails for this week. Again, D. Rogers, I'm not sure what happened. That was not me playing any hijinks. It just stopped. So if you have more to say, call back sometime. All right, let's move on to what we've been playing, gentlemen. We'll try to be quick as things have run a little long here. I don't have anything to report except I played one new game. You guys familiar with the Space Marines, the Game Workshop Space Marine 40,000 or something like that?
Warhammer.
Warhammer.
Yeah.
Yes. So I played Warhammer. I think it's called Death Hulk or something like that. I fired that up. Space Hulk. Thank you. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what games I'm playing. But I played a little bit. I played a little bit of that, like the first, I don't know, hour and a half or so. That has a little horror tinge to it. Right, so once you get through the tutorial, you go to some ship that is from years past, and you go on there, and there's all sorts of demons attacking you in hordes. It's a pretty cool game. You got these, they call them your brothers that hang out with you. They're robotic space marines, and you can, tell them to follow you, heal you, go over there and stand guard. So it's a little strategy like that as well, but it's pretty much just hack and slash and shoot. The hordes just keep coming, and I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm not getting sick. So that is a plus. And other than that, just the usual COD, Fortnite. So nothing more to report. Matt, how about yourself?
Same old games as always for me. But I did a little homework from Vaughn. I started watching the Toys That Made Us on Netflix. And watched the first 2 episodes. The first one was about Star Wars, and it hit very close to home here in Cincinnati because Kenner Toys was in Cincinnati, and just an amazing deal they pulled off to get the toys done, and the money they made off of those at first was incredible, and the lease and contracts that they had with George Lucas was absolutely wonderful. It was a great little show there. And then the second one was about Barbie. And man, was Barbie a little hoe when she first started. Holy mackerel. Based off of a hooker and stuff, and parents were upset with the big boobs and stuff. They were a little jealous about it. The doll barely made it into the sales floor and that.
She had nipples.
She had nipples at first, yeah. Yeah. And parents, like, oh my God, this doll has bigger boobs than me and all this other stuff and that. And then they hired some marketing guy who changed the whole thing around. And, well, look how clean and wholesome the doll is. Look how good she looks and that. And turned the whole thing around. Well, yeah, I want my daughter to be clean and look good and that. So we just went off from there. Excellent little series there. I think the next one's about He-Man. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the next one there. But that's about it for me as far as the games go. Like I said, same old stuff with Call of Duty, and that's about it, really. We did the PUBG this past Saturday and that, so that's about it.
Very good. Jeremy, how about yourself?
Okay. I'm actually going to start with a non-game. I started a podcast series several years ago, never finished it. I'm picking it back up and going to power through it. It's called We're Alive. It's basically like the old-timey radio shows. So you've got people kind of just having conversations, whatever, but then they throw in sound effects and stuff like that. It starts off kind of like a zombie apocalypse thing, which I know is really played out and everything. But it's really well done. So again, it's called We're Alive. Find it. It's on pretty much everything, I think. Listen to the first 3 or 4 episodes. The voice acting is... It varies. Most of the characters are really good. There's a few of them you wonder how in the world, like if those were the takes they took, what ended up on the cutting room floor. But it's a pretty good story, so give that a shot. We talked a little bit about Payday 2. I have a video up on the YouTube /Bad Fodder Figures site. I captured some video last night. I just picked a random mission, and it wasn't a bank heist or anything like that. It was some weird thing where I started off in this haunted prison, and there's this giant ghost prisoner who's doing, like, you have to spin these wheels. It was just crazy. So just know that most of Payday that I've played has not been like that, but I am enjoying it in VR. The gunplay is not quite as realistic as the MILF sim that we talked about last week and Onward, but it's still better than most of the arcade things in there. So motion sickness aside, I think it definitely has a lot of promise, especially since it's still in a beta. And then I have a story I'll try and get through quick regarding Onward, the military sim I played last week. After we recorded Sunday night, I still had a few hours left of the free weekend. So I thought, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to be brave and I'm going to try the online stuff. I was happy to find out that the single player mode I had been playing is actually available for co-op. So I'm like, all right, well, let's just see what happens. Played a few matches. There were just some random kids in there and stuff playing, and nothing major happened. So then I started another lobby. Now, keep in mind, I started a lobby. One dude hops in. I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? Oh, not much. Just getting most out of this free weekend. Yeah, me too. That's cool. Do you want to go now? No, let's just go ahead and wait. Okay, that's fine. So just real casual, jovial, whatever. Nice interactions there. Another guy comes in, doesn't say anything. Then this fourth dude comes in. Oh, Eric, you were a Marine, right?
No, I was in the Air Force.
Air Force, okay. Well, this dude was straight up gung-ho Marine, full tilt, like, all right, everyone, you got to equip your NVGs. Everyone got their NVGs. I'm going to be talking. I'm going to take a point. We're going to do a 2-squad, 2x2. I'm like, what? And like, we're like, what the hell? And one dude's like, finally, what's NVGs? Which apparently is night vision goggles. I didn't know either, but at this point, I was so flabbergasted, like I didn't know what the hell was going on. So we're getting in game, and this dude is just like. All the time, he's like, all right, we're going to clear this corner, get up there, clear this corner, take 45-degree angle, we're going to take it, we're going to do, and we're like, oh my God. And so like, he's going up there. One of the other guys who I first started the room with, he's like trying to keep up. Like, he's like, I think it's clear. I don't know. And then me and the other dude are hanging back. And this is one of the greatest moments I've had in VR. I'm standing there, and I just got this new gun that had like a belt loading ammo clip. Like I had to like pull back the thing and put the belt of ammo in, close it, and all that. So I'm waiting to shoot this big gun, and I look over at the other guy next to me. He looks over at me because it's all VR, and he just starts shaking his head like I don't know what the hell's going on. So I just hold up my hands like I don't know either. So we just start following this guy. This dude is going around. Now this is all AI guys, right? And you shoot them, they gurgle, make choking death sounds, and die. He's going up. All right, we got contact. Got two of them, two. And he goes up, he kills him. He's like, all right, I'm checking vitals. He goes up, he pulls out that little tablet. Like, these are just AI guys. There's no vitals. Like, they're dead. You killed them, they're dead. And he's like, no, this one still got a pulse. Who's got a knife? One of these is like, we all have knives. He's like, I say again, who's got a knife? Like, he's just totally like dismissing the fact that this is even remotely a game. So one guy's like, I do. He's like, all right, finish him. The dude comes up, like, just starts swinging wildly, hits the AI guy's ass. He's like, oh yeah, butt cheek meat. That's what I like to see. All right, yeah, let's go. Like, the whole match was like this, and as soon as it was over, I'm like, I'm done. But like, Milsim 110%, and like, that game is only $15 right now, and I want to have that experience again. There's never been a time in my life that I wish I had been streaming when I actually wasn't, because I know it was so over the top and so unexpected, and just the idea that someone like it showed me that game can be used for training, I guess. I don't know how, not 100% realistic, but just to get the tactics, the terms, and all that stuff. It could totally be used for that after I've seen that. But at the same time, if that's the life you live when you're not playing games, why in the world would you want to get online and do all that shit and talk that lingo and all that? I don't know. But yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Jeremy, what's funny when I watch the video of you guys playing Payday is that your character has actually got the VR mask on his head.
Yeah, I put that on there.
That's pretty wild. I thought that was funny.
Cool. Any other games?
That's it.
Eric, you're up next, buddy.
Yeah, man. I picked up a game called Persona 5. Let me tell you why I picked it up. I picked it up because it's all the rage. People have been talking about it, and I'm like, man, what is this game? And I've never played Persona series. It's an RPG, apparently, whatever, right? So I play it, and it's pretty cool. It's it reminds me like a anime movie that I'm watching.
Right.
But you play it, and it's cool. It's about some kids in high school, and their personas are like strong characters that you can use in battle and everything. So far so good. I just started. I've only been playing it like maybe 2-3 hours so far, but it's cool so far.
People flip their lid over that game. Isn't it like Like some of it's like mundane, like you're going to school and stuff like that. And
yeah, well, you have the daytime when you're going to school and stuff like that, and when you go to sleep, that's when everything pops off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you turn into this you have this alter ego or whatever, like, and it's cool, I guess.
No, that's that's PC and PS4, or is that just PS4?
Yeah, I think it's PS4 only, but of course, I don't know.
You got it on the PS4,
but it's so far so good. Yeah, I have it on PS4.
Now, did you get your Xbox back?
Okay, so going to that, I've been playing Overwatch, right?
All right.
So, yes, I did get it back, and it's been working so far. And you know what's cool? I don't know if their customer service is just getting better. They've been emailing me, going like, "Is it still good? Is it cool?" I'm like, "Yes, it's cool so far, so good." So either they got good customer service, or they know it's a piece of shit. I don't know.
Or they listen to the podcast.
Yeah, one yeah. But it's working. It's great, I guess, until it breaks again. But we'll see.
And now, do they send you a base model, or do they send you the Scorpio?
They sent me a new Scorpio. The lady said.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, yeah, okay. So until this thing breaks again.
So it is.
But she said no. Yeah, it's a Scorpio edition. I told them to send me a base model, but they sent me a Scorpio edition.
All right.
So,
and what else you got?
We'll see. What else have I've been playing? I've been playing. I played some Fortnite, of course, but not with you guys. But in VR, I played this game called The Impatient.
They made that in VR and non-VR too, right? Or is it just VR?
No, it's just VR.
Okay.
It's a game before the other game called the Until Dawn game.
Okay.
It's about the insane asylum that was in that game, and it's only like a 3-hour game from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk around the hospital trying to fix. No, I haven't finished it yet, but you walk around the hospital. The graphics are good. Only thing about the PSVR, it's somewhat blurry, a little bit. Whereas
all the games are just this game.
Like, well, all the games have a little blur to them.
What they call that? Like screen gate or something like that? I forget what.
Not the screen door effect, but the resolution is just not as high as, like, say, an Oculus or a Vive or anything like that.
Because it's not a real.
But
computer.
I'm sure they'll make next year's model $600 and it'll be 4K or something. But anyway, yeah, I played The Impatient. The Impatient is cool right now. You just go around the hospital and you're trying to figure out what this whole thing with the hospital is. It's a story behind the hospital. It's okay. You can play it with the Move controllers or the regular DualShock 4. I'm not all thrilled about it right now, but it looks good so far.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't figure it out yet. So
what's the price
we'll
point
keep
on
on. It's $30.
Okay. $10 an hour.
$30 is good. Exactly.
Cool.
But other than that, nothing major.
Gotcha. So the official title of the game I was playing was called Space Hulk Deathwing. So, if anybody wanted to know what the official title was. And we had someone respond to Devious Mr. Matt about his Mount Rushmore. This person on Twitter is N1MX. And he said Hunter Thompson, Fred Rogers, Carl Sagan, and Darth Vader.
Yep.
All right. We got a few news items, so let's move over to that, gentlemen.
Really? Okay, do you hear what he just said? He just said, why don't you, for once in your life, just do the fucking news? All right, no. I'm going to do the fucking news. No, here is the fucking news.
All right, so if you've listened to us before, we talk a lot about PUBG, Fortnite. We're also going to mix in some Rainbow Six and some Battlefield news here. So if you like those games, stay in your seat. Jeremy, I'm going to rely on you for this news story because you play PUBG probably the most out of all of us. Miramar, what is your feelings on that map?
I like it. The only complaint I had is that the last couple, like even the other night when we played, it only came up like 1 out of every 4 or 5 times. It seemed like it definitely wasn't a 50-50 split.
So I'm probably unaware of this, but many players have expressed their dissatisfaction with Miramar, and they've gone so far as to go into their files, and I guess there's something that you can do and find ways to remove it from the playlist. There's not a map selection process right now where you can say only give me the original map and not Miramar. So they've managed to hack into the system, so they only get the original map. And I guess Bluehole has recognized this problem, and they've added some upgrades. So what they've done is they've now features more off-road routes for easier vehicle navigation, changes to item spawning in certain areas for better loot balance, and additional buildings and cover across the map, all designed to improve the engagement experience. So next time you fire up that map, let me know if it's a better experience for you. Fortnite had some downtime this week, gentlemen, and the fine folks at Epic are handing out some make-good items. So if you play the Battle Royale version, which is the free version, you'll be getting 20 battle stars toward your Battle Pass progression. And if you play the Save the World version, you get 1,600 seasonal gold that you can use in the event store. And that will be coming out shortly after patch version 2.4.0. Right now they're on 2.4 or 2.3. Okay, so they'll probably patch the game shortly. Look for all your goodies. Rainbow Six, guys, I wanted you to pay attention to this story because this sounds like something that we might be interested in. Rainbow Six Siege Outbreak is coming in March, and this is going to be a PvE experience. It will run from March 6th to April 3rd. As detailed in the new story trailer, an outbreak hits the town of Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Has anybody been there before? I'll take that as a no. There is a crash landing of a space capsule. The capsule carries an extraterrestrial parasite. Matt, in your terrible topics, are there any parasites this week?
Not this week. I can certainly look for some if I want to.
The parasite is called the Apex, which rapidly infects the locals and turns them into monsters. Scary monsters. Rainbow's mission is to destroy the parasite before it can spread any further. Teams of 3 will take on the challenges doing battle against 5 enemy types with unique abilities, including exploding monstrosities. I think I dropped one of those off earlier today. So the mode features 3 new levels built for co-op PvE, which will be bigger and more open than the standard maps with large outdoor sections. So I'm not sure, I can't remember if any of us have this game besides me, but if you do, this might be something that would be good for one of our stream nights. So we'll look into that. As we mentioned last week, guys, Anthem was pushed back till 2019, and we're sort of getting a reason why, because a new Battlefield game is due this year. If you can believe it. Matt, I know we played a lot of I think all 3 of us played a lot of Battlefield at one point. We've sort of haven't gone back to it. We probably should, because I know a lot more content has come out. So we're going to have to do that between now and October, because that's when the game is going to be coming out. Maybe against Red Dead Redemption. We'll see how things change now that that's been announced. Rumor, the speculation, gentlemen, is it could be a 3rd installment of the Bad Company series that they put out. Or, I know you're going to be shocked with this, Matt, or it could be a World War II game.
Oh, go figure.
Yep. So that will be dropping in October. Do you feel, Matt, that you've gotten your money's worth out of Battlefield? Are you ready for another iteration?
Yeah, I think I've got my money's worth out of Battlefield. Maybe I didn't get my money's worth out of the season pass because I haven't played in a while. But yeah, definitely, we was playing the shit out of that game for a while, and I look forward to seeing what the new Battlefield has in store for us.
Okay, well, it's only February 1st. We got about, 8 months to get to money's worth out of that season pass.
There you go.
All right, very quickly, PlayStation Plus games for February are going to be Knack and Rhyme. Knack is an odd one because I think that game came out many years ago.
Came out as a release game.
It was a launch title.
Yep. Other titles for the PS3 are Spelunker HD and Mugen Souls Z. For the Vita, Exile's End. And then for the Vita, also is Grand Kingdom. A lot of those games I'm not familiar with. Rhyme, a lot of people sort of like, so check out those. And the last bit of news I have this week, gentlemen, is Mario Kart is going to be coming to your phone. Now, I know Jeremy doesn't like to put too much on his phone, right? Is that correct? All your years that you've worked with the phone company, you like to keep your phone lean and clean, right?
Absolutely correct, yep.
All right. But some of us here, maybe not so much. And let's go to the Mario expert. Eric, will you be putting Mario Kart on your phone? I think it's going to be coming to Android and iOS. Something you want to try out?
I mean, of course, I'll check it out. But for some reason, I can't play, really good on my phone. I don't know if it's because of the touch controls or because it's too small. Oh,
right. It's going to be called Mario Kart Tour, set to be released in the next financial year, so the window is pretty wide here, April 2018 through March 2019. So that is a certainly big release window, but it is coming at some point. All right, that's all the news I have there, gentlemen. Certainly a lot of games that we play. Got some interesting things going on, so we'll report back as those things happen. But let's, Matt, you have some terrible topics. You know, where are we at now? About a little over an hour and 20 minutes. Do you want to go with the terrible topics?
I've got a quick threesome we can run through here, and I'll save a couple for another show. But I've got a quick threesome here I think is kind of relevant and would be good to talk about. Might be women of the night walking around, broadcasting out their anuses, like 70s Harry.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that. Burn it up. Upside down in a fucking fan. Adult toys, sex crime or sexual assault, vaginas. Jesus fucking Christ.
All right, who's got the GPS on the rub and tug?
Ah! That's perfect. This here from our friends over the pond, Chewy and Bounty may have to worry about this, Mike. New porn laws will mean Pornhub asks for your name and address before browsing. This is bad news for those people. Porn giant MindGeek, owner of popular online flesh pots as Pornhub, RedTube, YouPorn, and Brazzers, will now collect names, mobile phone number, addresses, and dates and place of birth before users log in. You have to create a username and password to use Pornhub from April onwards. The Age ID system has caused alarming among privacy campaigners who say there is the potential for Ashley Madison-style leaks. You can imagine how much data that is going to give MindGeek if they are going to have stats on what people click on, what porn sites people click on, what they pay for, and porn site owner Pandora Blake at an open rights group meeting in London said last year. Once you get a MindGeek login, you're going to be giving them your entire web browsing history because they're going to be able to track every time you log into anything. A MindGeek spokesman said Age ID has been built from the ground up with data protection, data minimization, and the principles of privacy by design at its core. Critics of the measure have also warned that the new law could lead to a huge number of sites being blocked altogether and to users having to sign up to a membership of porn sites. This is not a good idea. This is, man, they're going to be tracking your porn habits over there, it seems like.
Well, this is very timely because someone tried to open up a Pornhub account under my email address. I got a email earlier today that bigman641124 wanted to open up a new Pornhub account.
Is it your wife?
No.
Matt, what's your name and address? We already got your birth date earlier. What's your name and address?
Yeah. So there you go. Kind of bad news there. That's very disappointing there. That's coming to that.
I'm sure they will circumvent the.
Oh, I see what you did there. Speaking of Pornhub here, very quickly, I got two other things here. Pornhub offers free lube to save City of Philadelphia from Super Bowl celebration. I don't know if you guys heard 2 weeks ago, Philadelphia used Crisco on all their street poles and street lamps to try and discourage people from climbing up on top of them. Okay. Apparently, it didn't work out too well. The Crisco, it didn't work at all. The city of Philadelphia has an unlikely savior in its search for an appropriate pole grease after receiving an offer of free personal lubricant from Pornhub. The city had been faced with the issue of how to stop unruly sports fans climbing light poles after the upcoming Super Bowl. Philadelphia had tested Crisco fat to prevent the climbing, but citizens took the greasing as a challenge, and its flammability could have caused problems. Unfortunately, it became a thing ahead of time, so people thought we were daring them to topple the grease. Police spokesman Sergeant Eric Grip. The city recently announced. The city recently announced it would use a different unnamed method to prevent the pole climbing, but Pornhub insists they shouldn't give up on greasing the poles too soon. It tweeted at the Philadelphia Police Department on Thursday, offering a few barrels of Pornhub lube. So there we go. There, Pornhub trying to help the people of Philadelphia. There,
I love the idea that some city employee, whether it be a policeman or whatever, came into work one morning, was handed a tub of Crisco and said, "Hey, go grease some poles. Go lube them up."
There is a town north of us called Gloucester, Mass. It's famous in one of those movies that has come out recently about a ship going under or whatever. But they have a contest in Gloucester, the Greasy Pole Contest. The people they lather this pole up with all sorts of grease, and you got to try to climb to the top.
Oh my!
What's at the top?
I don't know. I never tried it.
A rubbery black dildo.
Probably by the time they get to the top, it's it's been defrosted.
Oh, yeah. One more thing about Pornhub here. You guys remember a couple weeks ago, Hawaii had that false alarm for the missile alert, correct? You guys all heard about that, guy got fired and everything like that. Pornhub tracked the porn traffic before and after everything that was going on. Yeah. So check this out. So traffic was fairly normal, okay, and then at 8:23 a.m., which I guess is when it went off, the alert, okay, the traffic dropped 77%, okay? At 9:01, after everything found out was a false alarm, traffic rose 48%.
I bet.
So when I guess everyone was doing a little porn in that, and then when all of a sudden, oh shit, we gotta get ready in that, and then afterwards when it was done, it's like, all right, we're not dying, let's go back to porn. So just a little, they kept track of that. Pornhub keeps track of a lot of that type of stuff there. Different things going on at the ups and downs of their traffic and stuff like that. So I just thought that was interesting. I saw that and I heard about that. It was pretty cool. So
yeah, they want to make sure they got their hands on top of that.
Oh, their hands on top of something.
So this greasy. Go ahead, keep going.
Well, no, that's all I have right there. That's all I have for that one.
So I'm looking up the history of the greasy pole here, and it's not just it's also done in Canada, Malta, United Kingdom, and other regions. And when it's done here, what's that?
In my bedroom.
And it's done here in Gloucester. It's done at St. Peter's Fiesta.
Of course it is.
St. Peter.
Get your Peter out. All right, let's wrap this. Let's wrap this one up. And Jeremy, shout-outs, plugs, polls, pulsating polls.
Yes, all of the above. Shout out to Giada De Laurentiis.
I've been staring at that GIF ever since you put it in the chat.
You like that? That's what I'm
man.
talking about, man.
I cannot stop watching that thing.
Shout out to Vaughn for covering, I think, about 33% of this podcast episode with his Mount Rushmore question.
Absolutely.
Yep. So again, always great to have that listener interaction and feedback, and feels like he's a part of the show now. Like if we had a week without Fred French or Vaughn calling in, it just wouldn't feel right. So, welcome to anyone new who's starting to call in. I know Mafia Thug's on 2 weeks in a row now. So yeah. Good to hear from him, and the interactions on the tweeters. That was good to get some answers there too. So keep it coming, guys. If you keep wanting them, we'll keep doing them.
All right, cool. Eric?
Yeah, man, I missed last week, man, but I was listening, and I loved it, and it's awesome. And shout out to everybody that's calling in. I'm Echo Jeremy and Vaughn and Mafia Thug, and even D. Rogers called back, man. Hell, why not? And shout out to you guys, man, for keeping it going. It's cool.
Very good. Matthew?
Yeah, I want to give out the phone number for the voicemails, 508-659-BFFS, 508-659-BFFS. Make sure you give that number a call and leave us some voicemails there. We very much enjoy hearing those every week, and thanks for listening to the show. That's all I got.
Cool. Yeah, same thing with the voicemails. We are recording this a few days earlier, so I appreciate everybody getting their voicemails in and being part of the show, because I was afraid we were going to do this show and not have any voicemails because some people wait to the last minute. So I really do appreciate people taking time out of their day to get the voicemails in. Other than that, a lot of stuff like you guys have already said. The participation has been great, and we hope that continues into the month of February, because today is February 1st. And that's about it. That's all I got. And we'll see next week who was correct with the Super Bowl. And
Matt,
you think you're going to be correct? Someone just had a squeaky wheel there.
Pittsburgh.
All right, go.
Pittsburgh.
Let's go, Patriots.
Steelers. Woo!
My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
Jeez Louise.
Jeez Louise.